Hello.
Hello.
I was expecting somebody else with the name
Yeah,
Rani.
because of my name, maybe. Yeah,
Okay, because when I saw the name Rani, that I was expecting a female would join.
yeah. This is, most of the time happens because of my name. Actually, my name is Rani Dutt, but because of there is nothing parallel for N
Hmm.
in English, so that's the reason
R
why.
rather in
Yeah, yeah,
English, R and Ra are
yeah.
spelt similarly. So
Yes, yes.
Rani would mean a warrior, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So Rani and Rani becomes same in English.
Yes.
Okay, I understood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I was just going through your profile. You are a teacher in Himachal Pradesh. Okay,
Yes,
that's
yes.
how Rani, the sound of na, comes into picture. Uh, you haven't added, or rather, maybe the earlier teacher hasn't added your objective to improve English. So, objective means why do you want to improve English? Here we have a few options. You can select two out of those. The first one is upcoming job interviews. The second one is better job opportunities. The third one is promotion or role change. Fourth one is office meetings and discussions. Fifth one is client interactions and presentations. The sixth one is leadership communication.
Yeah, this is what
Basically,
I wanted actually, the leadership communication.
okay, and there is a seventh option which gives you opportunity to add your own thing. It is other. Basically, if you click other, it will give you an extra line to enter if you want to make it specific. Your
Yeah,
objective, your goal of improving English. So, do you
right,
want to
right.
add anything there?
Actually, I aspire to become motivational speaker.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
this is the reason why I am working on my
Mhm.
communication skill.
Now, there is another question which is talking about your shortfalls. Currently, uh, it is basically talking about difficulties that you are facing in speaking English. And two of them are already marked here, that is, generating ideas in English and presenting myself clearly. Is that okay?
I think we need few corrections here. Sometime I get
Okay.
stuck.
I'll.
Uh, yeah,
Mhm.
I get stuck when I have to use a singular and plural. So this is, I
Mhm.
think, the one problem.
Okay.
Sometime I use plural where I need to use a singular, or
Okay.
excessive use of s
Hmm.
where it we need not to have. And the second one about article, I think these are the two things that I am
Okay.
facing today. Yeah, these are the two
Okay.
things that I am facing
So I'll
genuinely.
I'll just explain these two that are already selected. Then we can go on to change. So generating
Yes,
ideas in English. This is generally marked when a person, a learner, is thinking in another language and trying to speak in English. For many of us
this is not the
Indians, we
problem with me. Yeah, this is not the
yes.
problem with me. I am,
Okay.
yeah,
So I'll
I think,
deselect that.
I, yes,
Because many
yes.
people think in Hindi. Let's say
Yes.
Hindi is a common language in India. So many people think in Hindi and then try to translate that sentence from Hindi to English. That's how they speak.
Yeah.
So if that is the issue, then we tick generating ideas in English.
It was never there. Yeah, it was
Okay,
never
okay.
there
So I'm
in my case.
removing that option and adding vocabulary and grammar. Vocabulary and grammar are together, and the issues that you spoke about belong to grammar,
Yeah,
using or being unable to use singular and pronouns, using s excessively, not being able to use articles correctly. This is grammar.
yeah.
So let's tick that option, and the second option that is already ticked is presenting myself clearly, which could be an option.
Yes.
Clarity of speech is what this is talking about. Okay. uh, Now, short term goal here has been written as becoming a motivational speaker. That would be a long term goal. Short term goal is something that I want to achieve now. Something there would be, to become a motivational speaker, I may have to climb various stairs. Hmm. This particular question is talking about the first step that I want to achieve.
Okay, so I can set here as my short-term goal is about only this, improving my communication skills and
Okay.
body language are related to that.
Okay. Okay. So, should we say uh, having a decent grasp on grammar and sentence formation?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Because communication skills also develop over a period of time. It isn't
Yeah, yeah,
it isn't something that happens within a month. It is over a
yeah,
period of time. So I'm writing having a decent enough grasp on grammar and sentence formation. This again we can change whenever we want to. It is not hard and fast. It doesn't stick there. We can change this. Currently, let's say having decent enough. I wrote decent enough. Why? Because to be able to speak, you do not need to know grammar in detail. You do not
right.
need to know every rule within grammar in detail. What is required is learning how to be conversational, learning how others are speaking, learning how generally sentences are made in a particular language. For example, you may not have heard this. In Bengali, everything that is eaten, everything that is eaten is said khabo. So they say I eat water. They don't say I drink water. So they say jal khabo. Mm. So
Okay.
for others in India, it would sound different because
Yeah,
we
yeah,
say jal पीने की चीज होती है.
yeah, yeah.
Mm. So in Bengali that becomes different. But then
Right,
it is how they use it.
right.
So that is the difference that we have to realize, that we don't need grammar in detail, but we just need the support of grammar sometimes. So I'm finalizing this profile at the moment. Maybe later on, if you want, you can make changes to it. Okay.
Okay.
Coming to my introduction now, because though your profile is there, mine may not be clear. So I belong to Mumbai, and I have been teaching now for 8 years with a total 15 years of work experience. I began my career journey with the hospitality industry. I worked with a few five-star hotels, then in one bank for a very short time. I also worked as a research associate in a particular company. Then finally, I shifted into education. As an educator, I have been working, rather, I had worked with the NSDC, that is the National Skills Development Corporation here in Maharashtra. And through them, I have conducted multiple soft skills and communication classes across almost all universities of Maharashtra. So earlier I used to travel a lot. In 15 days I used to cover half of Maharashtra, traveling to different colleges from one place to another to another to another. Maybe at times I didn't reach home for 15 days continuously. But then that was how it worked. And because that is the base why I said communication skills requires a longer time, because it is not just the speaking, it is meeting people as well. It is learning how people talk and adapt, because we communicate for others to understand us. We don't communicate to make us sound better. We communicate, the only reason for communicating is so that the message gets delivered to the other person. So that is how communication skills develop. Okay.
Right, right.
For example, until and unless you tell me that your name is not Rani, it is Rani, I don't get to know it.
Yes,
So I may want
yes,
to pronounce it as Rani based on the English spelling, based on the Roman script. But then I
yeah,
have to refer to the Indian script to understand that it is Rani.
right.
Okay. So let's get ahead. So tell me, Could you tell me something that is not on the profile about you? You told me you want to become a motivational speaker. Uh,
Earlier, I was something that maybe somewhere in my future I'm going to try it. But now I think this is the right time to start with,
hmm
because if we just wait for a perfect time, that is never going to come. And better to start today, and
hmm
then step by step move ahead towards our next destination that we are having in our mind. So
Okay.
I selected it. Yeah.
hmm That's great. So, what are you currently with English? What is it that you are doing currently to walk towards this goal?
Most of the time, actually, I am.
Just go ahead.
Yeah, nowadays actually I am trying to speak or try to uh, use shadowing technique wherever it is
Okay.
possible. And
hmm
second is I am very much fond of reading books. So these are
Okay.
the two things that I am usually doing most of the time.
hmm That's great. So, basically, I wanted to come transition towards our topic, which is exploring interests. So, your major interest is into developing yourself as a motivational speaker,
Right.
isn't it? Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, and you are also working towards it by trying to improve your English through shadowing technique. So, what is your feedback? Because you are speaking quite nicely. I was just thinking about changing that last part of your profile because it is not having a decent grasp on grammar, it is rather fine tuning your grammar. So that I would definitely be making that change soon. Not a decent grasp, but fine tuning. You are speaking nicely, currently doing well. Even your sentences are being formed well. You just need to improve it, take it to the next level. Maybe
Thank
here
you for
you
your
can
appreciation.
you can talk about improving your fluency and vocabulary to take your sentences to the next level. But then again, when we talk about vocabulary, since you said you are in Himachal Pradesh and you are interacting with students, you'll have to still keep your sentences simpler so that a larger audience is able to understand you.
Right. That is the main motive, as
Yes.
at the
Mm.
beginning
So
just
if you
mentioned.
start speaking, I generally give this example, though it is a very exaggerated example. If we start speaking like Shashi Tharoor tomorrow, most of the people won't be able to understand us. Mm. So we can't go to that level ex- because our audiences are not at that level. So
Right.
that is the differentiation that we need to do. We may have a good vocabulary for ourselves to express in a better manner, but then using that to speak depends on the audience in front of us.
Right. Main motive, yes, that is to make them understand what is there
Yes,
in our mind. Yeah.
to make them understand. For example, as I said, I have been traveling throughout Maharashtra, conducting soft skill sessions at various colleges across the length and breadth of Maharashtra. Sometimes I have conducted sessions at remote places as well. Here, though the major medium of instruction was always English, but at times I had to change it to Marathi. The Because these were soft skill sessions and not English sessions. So I had to many times change medium, not entirely to Marathi, but some Marathi inclusion had to be there so that the message goes across. Sometimes even Hindi. And in some parts of Maharashtra, I had to even dedicate my sessions in Hindi. So reaching out to the audience is primary rather than um, communicating in English there, because the sessions weren't English. It was developing soft skills. So that is something that you will have to keep in mind. Yes, when you go to a global audience, when you go to and audience even all around India, there is where you can definitely work on your vocabulary. Mm. But for a domestic audience like Himachal, there you'll have to tone it down a little bit.
Right, right.
I say that because I have been to Himachal and I know the grasp of people there. This is mostly an agricultural society. Uh, so there uh, you can't use words that are too heavily advanced.
Yeah, most of the time, whenever we, on the road or we are heading
Mm-hmm.
towards any particular destination that we are having in our mind,
Mm-hmm.
at that time we are going to interact with the people, those who, comes from simple background, and they
Yes.
don't have the privilege to be there in the
Hmm.
big colleges or somewhere else.
Hmm.
So definitely in that particular area or that
Mm-hmm.
particular under those limits, we
Mm-hmm.
have to keep ourselves to, we have to keep in our mind certain things, and this is
Hmm.
one of that. Yeah.
Yes. So there are many times when we talk about skills. Now, skills is something that people would associate a monetary value with. For example, if I have to learn something, I have to also earn from it. Do you
Yes.
agree to this statement that I have to only learn, invest my time, energy, effort into something only if I can earn from it?
There are two aspects for this. If you ask me about, my opinion, then
Mm-hmm.
though I advocate that we always want something as a reinforcement whenever you are going to, uh,
Mm.
walk or and work on any kind of a journey. So you
Mm-hmm.
want to have something there, because
Mm.
whenever you want to hit something, you want something for yourself. So,
Mm.
so this type of a mind, to some extent, I can think that is okay with that also. But it
Mm-hmm.
is not always like that. You are going to see immediately
Mm.
the a last outcome. To
Mm.
jump on the conclusion in this way, I think it is very early we are going to jump on the conclusion. So better to think about when you are growing and
Mm.
you are following a process to grow in that direction. Then you need to face, few moments in your life that may be good or a bad. And
Mm.
if you are only thinking about your monetary, that is going to increase only the
Mm.
financial things, you are thinking about that, or about your reputations,
Mm.
for that, for that specific time of a period,
Mm.
maybe that is not going to help. But uh, if we take the whole aspect as a whole, if we want to see the picture, then
Mm.
it may take, that sometime you will get setback also, sometime you will get that kind, that may be the byproduct when you
Mm.
are uh, going for a specific skill. So definitely that you will get some rewards also
Mm.
when you will be
But they may
somewhere.
not be monetary.
Yeah, they may not be monetary, because it is not always the monetary things that is going to help you. I
Mm.
think somewhere I saw it in a one of the movie, in a Hindi it was there. uh, it was one of the guests entered in Ajay Devgan's that movie, and
Mm-hmm.
it is I think it was something like Atithi Tum Kab Jaoge. So this
Mm.
was the movie. So we were thinking about the money in that movie. Uh,
Mm.
his wife was thinking about how many days he's going to stay here,
Mm.
and ultimately they were thinking that this person is nothing but expense, an
Mm.
extra burden
Mm.
upon us. Then all of a sudden, when they faced, in their life, that the biggest setback, that all of a sudden something had happened in Ajay
Mm.
Devgan's life, and they asked to pick all the things from, that the from where he took the loan. So they asked him to, deposit the car, and they seized his car also. Then all
Mm.
of a sudden they found that this Atithi who was there in their home, he was just, singing the bhajan with
Mm.
the rest of the members, four or five of his friends, and one of them was the manager
Mm.
who helped them at the last. So this may happen at the end because there was no connection directly in
Hmm.
that way. But this was the incident of the movie. There may be many examples in our lives also where our parents, our well wishers, they are
Hmm.
not demanding anything from us, our relatives sometimes, but they are helping us most of the time. So
Okay.
in that
One
situation,
small correction before we go ahead. When it comes
yeah,
to grammar, you need to understand that some words need to come before some other words. For example, in the sentence that you said now, there was no correction directly. There was no direct connection.
okay,
There was no direct connection between these two people, Ajay Devgan and the manager whom the Atithi knew. So, direct connection would be a better phrasing than connection directly.
okay,
So, here uh, I don't want to go into grammar, but let's get a hint. When you say connecting directly becomes an adverb, but direct connection, direct becomes an adjective. So many times, to be stating it in the feedback, I would state that you have to understand where to use an adjective and where to use an adverb. They would
okay,
be derived from the same word. For example, beauty. Beauty is the noun. Beautiful is the adjective. Beautifully is the adverb. So you need to understand where you use a noun form of the word, where adjective, where an adverb. And depending on that, the position of these words within a sentence would change. For example, an adjective will always define a noun and therefore will come before the noun. An
okay,
adverb will define a verb, another adjective, or another adverb. Now, depending on what it is defining, the position of that adverb will change. Adjective will always be before the noun, but
okay,
adverb is going to add more information to three separate entities: verb, adjective, adverb. So, depending on who it is talking about, its position will change. So,
okay,
one more addition to your grammar along with articles is understanding the form of the word. Is it an adjective, a noun, or an adverb? And then using it accordingly in the sentence.
okay,
Mm. So try doing it. This is my personal feedback in addition to what has already been said. So articles, I did not experience you having any making any mistakes. Or rather, we haven't used a lot of articles in this statement. But yes, when it comes to grammar, like you earlier said, a little bit of grammar has to be corrected. Sentence formation, you are going well. Sentence formation, you are going well. Things that you can add is not going into a very long sentence. The way you are speaking continuously for a longer period, and that maybe for some of your listeners it might become boring.
okay,
It sounds a little bit monotonous though you are giving content. Try to take pauses in between, try to pause in between so that your learner is ready to accept new things, your the mind of the learner comes back. For example, currently you may be listening to a very soft buzzing sound from my end, a very soft buzzing sound, that is my fan running over my head. Generally, when we are sitting under a fan, we don't pay attention to it. We don't
yes,
pay attention to it because the we are pleasant. The fan is going on. It is the room is pleasant because of it. The sound is there, but we don't pay attention. But the moment somebody switches it off, suddenly, then we come to know, oh, what happened? Okay, the sound has stopped. It is the fan not running at the moment. But what happens in that instance is we get our attention back. So, to be able to grasp the attention of your audiences, you will have to take pauses in between. Currently, you are going on continuously without gauging whether your audience is accepting it or not. So, for that gauging, stop. Check
Okay.
whether your message is being delivered, being accepted by your audience, and then go forward. Continuously, you are at the moment you are just speaking without checking for the feedback from the audience. So that feedback stream has to happen. Otherwise, you would be for you it would be like, okay, I delivered the session very nicely, but then from the audience's point of view, it would be that person spoke a lot. He spoke very nicely, but when I asked them the question, what did you learn from it? Then they would be confused. That shouldn't be the case. Your audience should be able to answer, okay, these are the one, two, three things that I learned. So those pointers you have to give. You have to say, okay, you have to mention that this is what we are talking, this is what we are learning. So that uh, thing is what you have to add on. You have to give audiences the things to remember, pointers with which they would remember what you had said. Try to
Right.
incorporate that in your speech. So yes, a little bit of grammar and a little bit of structuring your sentences correctly. Structuring not in the sense of making sentences, but then how you speak. The sentences are correct, but then